Why the hell didn't he do it weeks ago? Instead of almost certainly misleading Parliament by parroting an obvious obfuscation that he was sickened by Number 10 partying and had no idea it was going on, he did know. He attended. While all of us mugs were picking which relative or best friend we could go on a 2-metre socially distanced walk with, our first social contact for 2 months. As is so predictably the case, Boris Johnson's Partygate cover-up has compounded the perilous state of his leadership tonight, as Tory backbenchers rightly ponder whether his benefit electorally has run out. It's becoming increasingly obvious that in the medium term, this apology may not be enough to save his premiership.
Mr. Speaker, I want to apologise. I know that millions of people across this country have made extraordinary sacrifices over the last 18 months. I know the anguish that they have been through, unable to mourn their relatives, unable to live their lives as they want, or to do the things they love. And I know the rage they feel with me and with the government I lead when they think that in Downing Street itself, the rules are not being properly followed by the people who make the rules. And though I cannot anticipate the conclusions of the current inquiry, I have learned enough to know that there were things we simply did not get right. And I must take responsibility.
But the Conservative Party must be very careful here, or it risks destroying itself. We must remember the political and media establishment have campaigned against Boris Johnson from the moment he replaced Theresa May. They blame him for Brexit and have always wanted to do everything possible to derail the biggest democratic mandate in the history of British politics, to leave the EU. So before a painful leadership contest, which is almost inevitable now, I believe today's apology buys Boris a few weeks' breathing room, time to prove to his party that he can lead a truly Conservative government. But boy, oh boy, he has to genuinely change. And sadly, I'm starting to doubt if he actually has the ability to do that. Because here's the thing, that change would mean removing all remaining coronavirus restrictions on our lives and ruling out further lockdowns forevermore. The whole Surrey saga of these Downing Street parties is categorical proof that the rules are not only inhumane, they are impossible for any normal human being to follow. Here's an uncomfortable truth based on numerous inside sources. Staff at Number 10 Downing Street have never worn masks at work. Yet our school kids are being forced to do so for up to 8 hours a day. That is an outrage. So Boris must use this opportunity now to end the pandemic, remove all legal restrictions. Sure, give us advice when you think it's genuinely necessary, but we'll choose if it makes sense to curtail our lives, exactly as you, Boris, and everyone else at Number 10 did. From this moment on, we should no longer be forced to work from home or wear masks as part of Plan BS that I've always said was futile to begin with. That can only be the beginning of the change, though. To win his backbenchers over, Boris must dramatically reverse his agenda and make Tories the low-tax party once more. That means axing the national insurance hike, slashing VAT on electricity bills and removing the outrageous green levies too. He must also stop this Tory government's march to becoming some sort of nanny state on speed, starting with Environment Secretary George Eustace's ban on sauce sachet packages and everything else being ruined to try and get to net zero first. He must also go through with key promises to stop the Channel migrant crisis, gain control of our borders, tackle terrorism, especially homegrown terrorism, wage war on the woke-topians throughout the public sector blob, and curtail the dangerous powers of the biased BBC. I have to say, it's unbelievable to me that I'm even having to say this. I had so much hope for Boris Johnson. He said he was going to do all of that. But let's be honest, on so many fronts, he has been a major disappointment, enthralled by his woke eco-warrior wife, Carrie, taken in by the doomsday scientists who have been proven wrong so many times, and the mainstream media too, those journalists at the BBC, ITV and Sky News who have a clear agenda. Boris Johnson's apology today is not enough. He has to dramatically reverse course if he has any hope of surviving as Prime Minister after May's local elections.